Ducklings, welcome back everyone, welcome back to another day, to the playoffs of the StarCraft Evolution League Season 2 Championship, day number 1. I'm of course just live VIP with you, joined by these amazing players, by the people in chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all, as we are finally here. As a reminder as well, these events, this is a replay cast, these events did occur a couple of days ago over the weekend. Unfortunately at the time we were busy covering Masters of the Game, so we were covering another event, another cast, but now we can focus and fixate on the playoffs themselves, on StarCraft Evolution. Let's go, baby, let's go. For those that are curious, this event is run on a mod. This is not a base SE2. Every now and then we always have people tuning in for the first time like, hold on, wait. Why are the Dragoons, what's going on? Why there's Scourge in the sky? Why are things looking a little bit different? Well, this is a mod that does pit together Brood War versus StarCraft 2. They are pitted against each other. They do face off against each other as well. So again, this is something a little bit different. It is balanced on a regular basis. Of course, the last patch was before the championship to make sure that nothing would really shake things up, and I'm sure many are looking at the championship to kind of determine how the meta is shaping, how it's looking, and if any changes need to be made. Again, it is actively being worked upon on a regular basis, and honestly it's a lot of fun. It's a nice breath of fresh air from regular SC2, and a lot of players have been devoting a little bit more time on it. Right now I do think that this is the kind of best time for StarCraft Evolution. Right now is the best time for SC Evo, just because, as you can imagine, we do have the off-season, right? EWC concluded, Esports World Cup is over, at least for the year, it has concluded. We have Fusion Esports League that just wrapped up. We just wrapped up with all these tournaments, so now players can now focus and fixate on other things, like other mods and other game modes. Whether it's 2v2, 3v3, team games, so I'm also referring to Thermal's 2v2 circuit, and also events like this, like StarCraft Evolution. So now is the time. For now though, we do have our playoff bracket, exclamation mark. There's no bracket command, as we are avoiding spoilers of course, but as we can switch things over and catch up with the bracket. Also, before I get ahead of myself, thank you so much for, I believe, the gifted subs in the chat. Did happen during the break screen, but thank you so much. But we have some gifted subs here for Random, for very as well, for Stam. Thank you so much. Do appreciate the support. As we have our round of 8. We have a round of 8 here ready. Last week we went over the group stage, so if you missed out, and if you want to watch the VODs, check us out on YouTube, as we did cover every single group in the group stage. Was all covered, and now we are here focusing on the playoff brackets. We have quite a number of mirror matchups initially. We have TaeJa versus Kira in a TVT, Rogue versus 3-Point in a ZVZ, Beyond versus Creator, and a Classic versus Mana. Here we go. There are a couple of key players here that are less well versed when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. Specifically, Cure and Rogue are going to be coming in as dark horses. They have been heavily relying on their SE2 play in this tournament, and it's gotten them this far. To be fair, it's gotten them this far. It's done well for them to make it into the playoffs. Meanwhile, we have a player like Creator, who's newer, but also has been playing a lot of SE Evo, a lot more than the other two, has been looking pretty damn good. I do think it's a bit of a shame that Beyond and Creator are facing off in the first round. They're good friends, and it's a shame to see them knock each other out. We have Classic versus Mana. That's also going to be a spicy PvP, as well as, again, we have almost purely mirror matchups here, except for Beyond versus Creator. And we'll see how players can perform. As up first, we have that TVT between TaeJa and Cure. Once again, to reiterate for those that are curious, TaeJa, he is back, and I have to amend something that I usually say. TaeJa, he came back like 2 months ago at this point to StarCraft Evolution, has been competing on a regular basis in SE Evo, and I usually say, just to like temper people's expectations, he's back in SE Evo, he's not back in StarCraft 2. That's kind of no longer the case. TaeJa, I think it was this week, did compete in Wardy TV Monday in StarCraft 2. Like, that's a StarCraft 2 tournament. TaeJa did compete in it. He did end up facing off against, I think, Clem, like in the second round. So it was a really rough bracket for TaeJa, and he did not go far in the tournament. But he did play in a non-SE Evo tournament. So really cool to see that TaeJa is spreading his wings and dipping his toes into StarCraft 2 again. Now, whether or not he commits and plays in more tournaments, yet to be determined. Yet to be determined here. He did play in this week's World TV Monday, but I think that's all he's played in so far. Whether he plays in like a Pigaster Cup, an STC, another tournament, hard to say. Hard to say, but maybe he's tempted to go further into StarCraft. It would be cool. It would be nice to see. Would be nice to see. Fair share, but the skies are filled with scourges. Not like this. But now, though, we're jumping into our first series. Once again, this is going to be best of 5. These are purely best of 5s here in the quarterfinals, and we're jumping to game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Maganatha. Let's go. We are jumping in. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Green Terran. It is TaeJa. Here we go. As we have our first matchup of the broadcast, as we have our TVT, but again, this is a very different kind of Terran versus Terran, as we have Brood War versus SE2. Now, once again, as I mentioned before, Cure, he has been having a harder time adapting. Again, he just hasn't been playing as much StarCraft Evolution, so his Brood War side of things are looking a little bit more rough around the edges, and I think he's only won one game with Brood War. I think it was one game last week in the group stage, in the round of 16 that he was able to take. Outside of that, though, he has been heavily relying on SE2, so we'll see if TaeJa can pop off, and again, a lot of these pairings are going to be quite crucial here. Also, as a reminder, it is loser's pick, so whoever loses this series, or sorry, loses this game, will be able to pick whether they play with SE2 or Brood War in the next game. So it is going to be loser's pick. For now, we do have our CC first out of Cure, going CC first into his follow-up Rax. Meanwhile, TaeJa going Rax Expand. So we do have some varying openers here. Cure just being a little bit greedier over on his side, going into a 3 Rax behind this. So we have 1, 2, and we're expecting a 3rd Rax as well. These sim timings have been very trendy, even in TVT, so we'll see if Cure also embraces that here and now. We'll see if he has been watching some VODs and preparing in preparation and setup here for the playoffs. I would hope so. Would hope so. As the Raxes are soon to complete. We have TaeJa coming with the SCV Scouts. Cure has been playing a little mech in StarCraft 2, but I don't know if he's really one to play around with too much mech in Brood War. Again, we'll keep an eye on him. As we get a full scout, so there's the Academy. This is turning into a more like a 2-on-1 setup here. We typically, when it comes to this build, we would already be seeing the 3rd Rax on the way. As Cure does have the money for it, but so far is not doing so. As the first Reaper does arrive, let's poke in. Pokes in, dances with the army. And Stim has begun. We're getting to Stim. Still staying on 2 Raxes, so this is going to hit a little bit weaker than we're used to, just because there's going to be less production available. Back at home, TaeJa, he's also building up. He did scout the main base, he saw the extra Raxes, so he knows. Now we have the 3rd Rax on the way for Cure. But TaeJa is at least already aware as to what's happening. And going into Reactor Hellion is ideal. Hellions, they annihilate bio armies so fast and so quick. They do get roasted. And going into Mass Hellion has its place here. As Reaper, let's go down. Cure's still banking up. Stim is almost complete. But again, the bio army is quite small in comparison, just because of the late 3rd Rax. So this timing is not anywhere near as strong, to the point where he might actually just not move out. He might just stay at home. Stim is finishing, and so far he's chilling. Behind this, Hellions are still building up. At Onslaught, we do have a mech on the way, so 2nd factory into Blue Flame scan does reveal the mech. So Cure is aware. Getting to UT3HLs. Hellions are being active. And we'll see if Cure can hold his own. No safety bunker here on the low ground. About to dip in. Oh, does force out a sim. Not bad. Oh. TaeJa playing with fire. Oh no! He has to be so careful. Once again, pulls away. Respects the Marines. TaeJa does back off. Blue Flame is almost done, getting into a third factory. Third factory's on the way. Third CC for Cure. Cure, he's building up into a longer game state, but the lack of factory here and the lack of tank, lack of support for the Marines, this army is so fragile for Cure. Once Blue Flame kicks in, I can see TaeJa just rushing and breaking this position. Likewise, Cure, he is here on the right-hand side. He's covering two of the ramps, not the other two. TaeJa can come in from behind. He can, and he will. Yeah, Marines are going to be going down. He avoids the main army. Okay, yeah, he just blows his way through. He just roasts up all the fire, roasts up all the Marines. There's nothing left. There's nothing here. Mass Hellion does overwhelm. Pushes on through. And there's nothing. There's just nothing to defend. The Cure, he has no army. He's down to 3 Marines. The boys are being pulled into Blue Flame Hellions, and with that TaeJa, he will just overrun. GG gets called, and TaeJa takes game number 1. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. Again, Blue Flame Hellions, they can just completely shut down Bio here for Brood War. On top of that, Cure, he had no bunkers, he had no defensive setup behind it, he had no, say, fire bats. He did delay his factory because of his initial build, because of his 3 racks, and he didn't hit a 3 rack stim timing either. So it was a very shaky build and a very shaky early game from Cure. He didn't really achieve much with it, and he fell behind, was overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. But again, I feel like that just shows a little bit more experience from the side of Cure. No surprises here. Cure, he's switching to SC2. So we have a Cure playing StarCraft 2. TaeJa going to be switching to Brood War. Here we go. And this is where Cure is going to have a bit of a better chance. He can hold his own. I'm ready for it. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Vermeer, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran leading the series 1-0. It is TaeJa. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. We go. So players are set up. And of course, Vermeer is an old Brood War map that has been ported over, and it is a 4-player spawn map. We have bottom left, bottom right, top right, and top left as well. We have 4 possible spawn locations. TaeJa, he's where his opponent is either top right or top left. Meanwhile, Cure, likewise, bottom left or bottom right as well. So both players are aware of some of the locations of where their opponent could be. And we'll see how our players will approach this. TaeJa coming into this is a higher chance that he does go CC first, but there's a higher chance that he is going to go into mech. Is there a higher chance of that happening? Likewise, Cure. We could just see mech versus mech, actually. We spoke earlier how Cure has been very fond of mech as of late, and especially after the first game's experience, he may be opting to do so again. As Cure is going for the cross scout. Cure does scout bottom right, and meanwhile, TaeJa going to be scouting top left. So TaeJa, he will find his opponent that much faster. Behind this, you see TaeJa going into his own proper 3x. This is how the build is done. So this is going to be 3x stim. Again, last game, Cure, he didn't really go 3x stim. He went 2x stim into a delayed 3rd racks. And it didn't really hit. It didn't really hit with stim. It wasn't really any strong timing. Cure, he kind of like stumbled his way into the game, into the early to mid game. Here, this is a more precise build. It's more concise. Here, we're going to be building up Marines early on, a mass amounts of bio into the academy, into a strong stim timing. We'll see if Cure can handle this. We'll see if he can defend. We'll see if he can minimize losses and hold his own. We'll see if he can scout, more importantly. As the Reaper does move out. Stim. Reaper does poke in. So far, TaeJa he's holding. Building on more Marines, and we should soon be seeing that the Academy's already done. Stim has begun. So again, here comes that strong Stim timing. Let's go. Is the mod new? The mod, it has been around for a couple of years. We've been casting the mod since last year, October, I think. Yeah, I think it was around October is when we started casting. So almost a year we've been covering the events here on the channel. If you want to tune into more of it, I mean, there are, at this point, hundreds of VODs on YouTube on our channel. Casted a lot of SE Evo over the past year. See someone asking, does one version of each race shine through more than the other? Like, is SE1 better than SE2? I think that's one of the common questions that is often asked by new people that tune into this mod. I think that's the wrong question to be asking. But like, there are some applications for it. I think for a long time, Brood War Zerg was worse than SE2 Zerg. But again, a lot of patches have been applied to help with that. In most recent months, we've had a lot of patches buffing the Zergling and buffing the Hydra as well, from the Brood War side of things to help improve it, to have Zerg players pick it more than SE2 Zerg. So that is something that's been worked on. But I just mentioned something that's important to bear in mind, is that if there is ever something that is like maybe too strong or too weak, or if one race is being picked more than the other, then of course the balance team is very active in this mod to make sure that they address that sort of thing. Meanwhile, Stim is done. Stim is done. Here comes that early Stim timing. We do see Cure going for it at the same time the Hellion drop into the main. Does scan, a bunker is up, and TaeJa does Stim in. He does Stim in. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are being charted down. Nice focus firing here out of TaeJa. Does focus out 9 SCVs. The bunker will fall, and again, Akira he's across the map instead. But Akira looks like he might barely hold on here. He's got one tank left. Oh, that's still a lot of economic damage. At the same time, Cure, here we go, the Hellions are activated, they're diving into the mineral line. TaeJa has reinforcements back at home, and TaeJa looks like he will lose some SCVs. Where's the target firing though? Hellions, they run into the natural. No major damage. So far, that's going to be 15 SCV kills. Cure, he was distracted. Workers are lining up, but TaeJa, he will hold. He will hold, he will shut this down. Again, Cure, he was late to react when it came to the Hellions, late to deal damage. And yes, both armies get cleaned up, but Cure, he will lose 15 SCVs, and TaeJa losing only 3. And again, Cure, he was mainly focusing on his home defense. The Hellions, that were idle for a long time, didn't do much damage, and TaeJa takes the lead. TaeJa does take a strong lead here, and again, he's able to show Cure what a proper 3-back Stim timing looks like as well. As again, last game, Cure, he was kind of stumbling into the early game. So with that, a strong start for TaeJa, building up his bio tank. They patch when I say they patch it regularly, I think they patch it like every couple of weeks, like multiple times a month is kind of when we expect patches. But we haven't had a patch in a couple of weeks here just because of this tournament. This is the quote unquote like almost world championship of StarCraft Evolution. This is the this is the championship. So obviously they don't want to drop a patch in the middle of the tournament, as it's been running for a couple of weeks. Oh, the Ursula! No! TaeJa! Leave the Ursula alone. Hey. As Curious pushing out, he does have a decent tank count, but what about the buffer for the army? What about the Marines? He's getting caught on siege. One tank already goes down. Yeah, nice start for TaeJa. TaeJa has the high ground as well, bearing in mind that high ground is a big factor in StarCraft Evolution. There is a mischance, and he takes out another tank. Another tank falls. For those that are curious, there is a 46% chance when you shoot up a ramp that you miss, and you do no damage. So again, high ground is a bigger factor in SE Evo. It's like just under 50%, or it may as well just be 50%. It's like 46.9 or something, 46.6. Secure pulls away. Here he backs off. TaeJa does hold. Behind this, you have the new lockdown the new lockdown graphic. Let's go. Getting into Ghost, getting into lockdown. Cure likewise getting to biotank as well. He does bypass TaeJa, not bad. Slips into the middle line. No major damage yet, but he does distract. He forces TaeJa back. Cure giving himself some breathing room. TaeJa still being active. Getting to his own science vessels, irradiates as well. Lockdowns are pretty brutal. Honestly, it's been a while since I've seen players make use of lockdown. Like TVT is one of those matchups that can slow down and allow players to actually build up and tech up as well. So ghosts are amassing. If you think disables are good from Ravens, nah, you ain't seen nothing yet. Lockdowns are crazy. Lockdowns are almost like the interference matrix, except units can't move. Like it stops them from moving. It locks them down. Does lock them down as well. And it also lasts a longer time. The duration is quite long for lockdown. It's crazy. As the ghosts are moving in, they're getting ready for their dive. Cure has to be so careful not to be caught on siege. This is where counter ghosts for EMPs are crucial, but again, just winding back, Cure he has less experience with StarCraft Evolution. Like Cure he doesn't play it as much, so I don't think he's aware of like what the threats are. Puts him in. Yeah, lockdown on the Medivacs. Medivacs do go down. Nice pig off, and yeah, with that TaeJa, he will win this fight. Cure now was like, hold on. So, what was that back? Yeah. Speaking of Sims 4, tanks are on siege, and here come the lockdowns. Yeah, it's going to be 3 tanks disabled, 4 tanks disabled. And now TaeJa can move in with his own. Likewise, he still has those irradiates. I mean, there's barely any Marines to begin with. Defense matrix as well. And TaeJa, he will break through the siege line. And that's going to be the 5th tank falling. Cure down to 2 tanks. And Cure, he barely has anything here. GG. Yeah, GG gets called. The writing was on the wall. TaeJa, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. TaeJa looking very dominant so far, both in Game 1 and Game 2, where he had to play with both SE2 and Brood War. As I mentioned before, this is a learning experience for Cure. Cure, he is very unfamiliar with, or more so unfamiliar with Brood War, with StarCraft Evolution, and coming into TVT like this, especially with your opponent going into mass ghost, going into lockdown, it is crucial that you have your own ghost to counter that with those EMPs. As you can see, if your opponent has free reign, they lock down everything. They lock down the medevacs, they lock down the tanks, and they shut you down. So it is that much more crucial to be able to have something to counteract those ghosts, to counteract those spellcasters, whether it's ghosts, whether it's ravens, with ghosts of your own, with your own EMPs. Alas, instead we did have Raven support, Biotank Raven, which is a little more standard in TVT in StarCraft 2, but in EVO there's a different dynamic. There is a different dynamic, and with that we're now getting into game number 3. Game 3 is going to be on Pylon. I'm hoping this isn't the final game of the series. I'm hoping we have a bit of a back and forth here, but the pressure is on Cure. There we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran himself. We have the South Korean Terran leading the series 2-0. It is TaeJa. See, I started chat. You know how you can tell Brood was an old version of StarCraft? It's from the lockdown era. Ah, no. I start. It's spawning in the top left hand corner. We have the SE2 Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Opening up with the proxy 2 racks. We have one SCV and we have a second SCV moving out. So Curie going to commit. He's going to double down. He's sending everything across the map to proxy, to cheese, to catch TaeJa with his pants down. This time TaeJa does not open up CC first. He goes racks first instead. So a safer build out of TaeJa. This does make sense, especially on Pylon. Remember, Pylon is one of the smallest maps in the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored on Pylon, and TaeJa is playing safe this time. He is playing safe. Proxy is on the way. We'll see if TaeJa is able to scout, able to confirm what exactly is going on. Okay. "53% chance that you hit though." True. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Secure does poke in, does confirm again, racks into factory on one base, so very safe play here by TaeJa. This could be proxy 2x Reaper. Now we speak about this all the time, but one of the big advantages here from from SE2 Terran is its mobility. Let's see if we can break in. See. As Reapers, they poke in, they pull away. And so far, they have not made their way into the bases. They do catch the Vulture, true. Behind this is going to be a 1-1-1 out of TaeJa. He can go for drop play. But so far TaeJa, he's contained, and he has not expanded, by the way. He has not expanded. As they get into the bases. We have a Vulture. They're trading well against Marines. Marines are going down. The boys are not being pulled. And it looks like he will overwhelm. Okay, it takes down the SCVs, caught all the Marines. The bunker wasn't on factor, and this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand here. TaeJa, we're looking to make a series out of this. Oh, Wraith has arrived. The Wraith will help. We'll eventually clean this up. So far, it's going to be 6 SCV kills, and it's going to be only 6. Now, we're in a really weird game state because, on the one hand, that was some nice damage. On the other hand, Cure, he's only just now expanding. Like, the expansion is just now being thrown down. So it's not like he has a massive economic lead to rely upon. He is slightly ahead in workers, and he has mules. True, like, mules are a big factor here. So Cure, he has some extra mining going on. And we're going into mech. So Curie's going to mech it up. But meanwhile, we have the control tower on the way on the starport. So it looks to go into Cloak. Get into Cloak and get into Cloak rates. TaeJa soon to expand on location. CC is going to be delayed. Not bad. There's no anti-air, but the Cyclone does arrive. And Cloak is not ready. Wraith goes down. Nice pick off. But again, TaeJa, he will disrupt the economy. He will delay the setup here. The starport, the CC. Rax does scout the control tower, is aware that Cloak is being researched. Cure knows. So he should be holding on to scans. As the game is going to continue. Again, after the chaotic starts, we're kind of settling in. Cure double expanding, very greedy. Third CC on location before the natural is even done. So hyper greed out of Cure. If TaeJa doesn't realize what's going on, then Cure, he will get away with it. We'll get away. He's puffing up his chest. He's hoping to gain map control with 2 Cyclones. We have more Cyclones on the way. So Curious hoping that he can just contain TaeJa and get away with the greed. We'll see if he can. As we get across, diving on the Raven. Ooh, it's going to be a bit of a trade, and the Raven may even survive. Oh no, the Raven lives! That was not worth it. Not worth it for TaeJa. 2 cloak wraiths being thrown away. Again, we got to respect the slank, and we got to respect the auto turret. Better trade for Cure. And TaeJa is having a hard time. TaeJa also getting into mech, so it's going to be mech versus mech. Big Curie gets away with a third. He does get away with it. Oh, once again catching out the wraiths. Ooh, Cloak barely gets activated in time. Oh no! I spoke too soon. And again, the investment into wraiths just has not been worth it for TaeJa. He lost 4 wraiths already. Oh, as TaeJa, he's still not aware of the third. He's still not aware of the economy. Still stuck back at home. When it comes to his composition, he's not really set up for for vulture production yet. Like, he has no spider mines or ion thrusters. He's pretty heavily reliant here on purely tank wraith, but really this build relies upon you building up the wraith count over time, and that just hasn't happened. Like, TaeJa's lost so many wraiths, and that's typically what he's meant to be using here for map control, to harass across the map, to support his army. Curie's got 2 hit squads looking for wraiths. He's looking. Let's see in the chat. Yes, there is. I believe there is smart casting. Yes. Far as I know, like that sort of thing, I don't think they've like adjusted for like specific factions to like remove certain things. Catching out more wraiths. Once again, wraith count gets reset, and I believe the Cure should overwhelm. Also, wraiths typically zone away as ravens, and that's not going to happen. Yeah, ravens, they just disable everything, and with that Cure, he will overrun the army. Takes down all the tanks, pushes into the third, and with the mass lock on, the CC may just go down. And TaeJa unable to expand, CC falls, and Cure is running away with this. That's the other thing that TaeJa has lost here is, over the course of this game, he's lost how many? 7 wraiths. If he had them, that would be his answer to these ravens, to zone them away, to make sure that they just have no free reign to move in, to disable whatever they can. So TaeJa losing all those wraiths over time has been brutal. And TaeJa, he shouldn't be able to recover. Shouldn't be able to. As Cure is moving in. So just waiting for more ravens. Waiting for more reinforcements. There's no rush for Cure just because TaeJa's only on 2 bases. He's only on 2 bases. Cure slowly pushing forward. TaeJa, he will be able to harass across the map somewhat, but there are defensive tanks as well. Vultures, they will go down. No. Not again, Pappy, not again. Got some Valkyries on the way, which will help. Oh. And here comes once again the Master Sable. Does cover most of the tanks. But 2 tanks remaining, order starts to get thrown down, and Cure will just completely annihilate the army. Breaks on through into the 3rd base. And again, TaeJa's had a really rough start to the game. It all started with losing the first couple of rates. Losing 1, 2, 3, lost up to 7 throughout the course of the early game. There was never an answer to the Raven. Yo, we got our first Valkyrie, let's go. Cure does rotate. He's got how many Ravens? 14! 14 Ravens. Let's go. As again, I do feel like Cure could have been a little bit more assertive here when it comes to pushing into the bases and pushing into the expansions. But at the same time, there's also no pressure on him. So disables all 3 tanks, moves in, and GG. GG gets called. The writing has been on the wall for a while here, and Cure, he does fight back. He does put a point on the board. GG. Whew, GG, well played. With that, does put a point on the board. With that, we are now getting into game number 4. We have a series, we have a back and forth, and we'll see where our players do take us, as I am going to be a little bit concerned for Cure here. Coming into our next game, we're loading into Sylphid, and now Cure is going to be forced to play Brood War Terran. This is something that he has been struggling that much more with. We'll see if he can tighten things up here, and we might even go for something like a Vulture-based opener. I'd be looking forward to that. We'll see. We shall see. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran leading the series 2-1. It is TaeJa. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. She's had no time for Ghost, I guess. There's no time, there's no money, there's no production for it. If you're tuning into the game, because of the initial opener, TaeJa lost a lot of momentum, he lost a lot of his map control. His goal was to go into tank Wraith. If you recall, the answer to the Raven was going to be the Wraith. If you can build up enough of them, it's almost like Vikings in SE2 TVT, that's how you are able to zone away the Ravens and force them back and protect your tanks. But because TaeJa lost so many Wraiths in the early game, he never built up a threatening Wraith count. He never had much anti-air, so that's why there was no answer to the Raven. That was supposed to be the answer, I should say. What's a mass amount of Wraiths? But from here we do have CC first out of TaeJa. Likewise, double gas opener out of Cure. Okay. And welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. We have top side, left side, and right side. So 3 possible spawn locations. And last time we saw Cure embrace Brood War Terran, he did go for a 2-rack stim opener. Here it's looking more like a faster factory. There it is. Do we have the faster factory instead? And is he aware of the double factory Vulture build that has been quite trendy and that we still see from time to time? Show us what you got. You know, TaeJa, he's searching for a Cure. Does scout on the left-hand side. Scout on the left. And we'll eventually find Cure. Machine shop is on the way. Cure going for a 1-1-1 on 1 base. Interesting. Okay, with the machine shop we can try to go into early Vulture upgrades or early siege mode. I'm a little bit perplexed as to what the plan is. With the starport specifically. Tank production has begun. I'm going to try to go tank rate. Are we going for an early dropship? Okay, tank rate. This is looking more and more like a 1 base all-in from Cure. But I'll be honest, I don't really know how hard this hits. There's not going to be that much to work with. TaeJa also building up as well. I mean, he doesn't see the move out, true. He has very limited scouting information, so he doesn't see what's coming his way. TaeJa's unaware. Cure is moving out. Cure, he should be able to get on top of the tank. Sorry, get on top of the bunker, I should say. TaeJa getting his own tank on the way. And again, just 1 base all in out of Cure. He's pushing forward. TaeJa, he's now aware. Setting up more bunkers. Boys are being pulled to buy time. Oof. Yeah, brutal SEV shots. Brutal shots on the SEVs. TaeJa's trying to hold on. Tank is getting within range. Uh-oh. And he is. He is within range. He needs vision, though. Oh. Yeah, TaeJa's lacking that vision. He will get 1 tank. Just the 1 scan. Ah, too little, too late. The scan was just a little bit too late there. Viking does pop. Pops, secure behind us, going for the control tower. Bringing out more tanks. And this time TaeJa, he does have vision. He doesn't have air control. Bunker finally goes down. TaeJa going to be forced back. Behind this, he is reactoring out more Vikings. Also, no react. Yeah, he is reactoring them out. Going for a second starport, 2-port mass Viking production. Let's go. And Cure finally expands. So he's pulling out of this. He's dying mining. He's trying to. And with a high enough Viking count, TaeJa should be able to break out. I say that. Still waiting for an extra wave. I do feel like TaeJa can be a little bit more assertive here. Yeah, he can poke in, he can try to drag the Marines within range of his tanks. and shell away at the rates. There's a scan. TaeJa now realizes Cura's been expanding. Oh, do we have detection? One Viking goes down. TaeJa does shut down the rates. Behind the second starport for Cure. So it's going into double wraith production. Boys are being pulled, and TaeJa, he breaks out. We can send it, man. We can send it. TaeJa, he does break out. Tanks, they will be able to siege in time, though. There's the scan. Ravens are chased down. Still a messy fight here for TaeJa, as one of the wraiths escapes. Forcing out of the scan. And as the dust settles, we have to favor TaeJa here, mainly because he survives with all these Vikings and the Liberator. Cure, he lost most of his army. Raven arrives as well. TaeJa is rallying. And now with the Raven, doesn't have to waste scans. He can even siege up in the mineral line. Cannon he will. Nice mining in the main base. Can't be the production. Gets another wraith. Honestly, he could even just land the Vikings. Yeah, he could even just land the Vikings. He's chasing the SEVs. Does bleed out a decent amount of Vikings though. Still that 6 SCV kills. TaeJa getting his third base on location. Behind this, embracing mech. He's going into still double software production, but now with backfill accelerators, now with battle mech. Getting into his own banshees. Let's go. He did notice no comsat station. We'll see how long that lasts. And yo, shout out to Psychons in the chat. It happened earlier. Like, oh my god, thanks so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 9 months. For 9 months. Thank you, Psychons. Do appreciate it. Can StarCraft 1 Brood War Terran Sub Tech Lab / Fusion Core? There are no tech labs in Brood War. There are machine shops and there are control towers. Bearing in mind, this can sometimes be a bit of a confusion. This is not like a hybrid mod. This is Brood War versus SE2. So Brood War, they only have what Brood War has, right? They don't have tech labs. They don't have reactors. They have machine shops and control towers. Different kinds of add-ons. As boys are being pulled, and TaeJa, he's just overrunning at this point. Again, he was able to break out earlier. With that, he should win the Battle in the Skies. I say that a lot of Vikings are going down. Down to 3 Vikings. And Cure, he's holding on, but he lost 17 SCVs in the process. Ay, ay, ay. More Vikings coming to reinforce, and TaeJa, he will take the fight, shuts down all the raids. The raids go down, the tanks as well. GG gets called, and TaeJa, he will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. TaeJa, he will claim the series. A shout out to Cure for being able to make a series out of this. Cure was coming in as the underdog just because he is less versed in Brood War, but he was able to make it this far in the tournament, which is still impressive, right? Cure, he was relying a lot on his SE2 skills. He was able to break through and able to get into the top 8, but only to the top 8 as his run ends here, and TaeJa makes it through instead. We did have a game, of course, where Cure, he was able to maintain air control and kind of dominate the skies in his own way. That was on Pylon, of course, where TaeJa did struggle. Here we saw the attempted one base all-in out of Cure, but alas, he did run out of steam, or he ran out of time. The all-in the end He had to expand behind it, and he ended up losing everything as a result. Lost his wraiths, lost his tanks, lost the attempted contain, and from there he lost map control. Lost map control, lost momentum, and TaeJa was able to snowball it from there. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations, TaeJa does make it through, and we are ready to find out who will join him in the semi-finals. We have a lot of mirror matchups here tonight in the quarterfinals. Up next is going to be a ZVZ between Rogue and 3Point. This is also a similar story here. Again, for those that are maybe just tuning in for the first time, there is a large group of players that have been playing StarCraft Evolution for the past year, or at least the past 6 months. They've been devoting a lot of time, and they play on a regular basis, but there are some other players that were invited into this tournament that are not active in the SC Evo scene, like Cure. Cure is one of them. That's why we were kind of harping on that. Cure, he is one of the players that was invited in who doesn't really play much SC Evo, so he was just kind of like freestyling a little bit at times, and that was also a little bit apparent, especially in the group stage when they were freestyling. Rogue is another one of those players. Rogue is another one of those players where if we were playing SE2, he's favored 100%. But coming into SC Evolution, this is where it comes down to how many hours he's put into practicing, how many custom games has he been playing, how prepared is he coming into this tournament. The 3 players that were invited that are less versed in Brood War or in SC Evo were Cure, Rogue, and Gumiho, the 3 of them. And Gumiho didn't make it into the playoffs. Cure and Rogue did. We'll see how far they can go. We'll see. As up next, we're going to be getting into Sylphid for our fresh best of 5. Let's go. Let us go as we're getting to our ZVZ between Rogue and 3Point. He's referring to the Physics Lab and Covert Ops. Oh, there you go. There you go. He's referring to the science facility add-ons. Not mistaken. As spawning in the top side here of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Brutal Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3Point. We go. So it just has to fix up the names. We'll fix them up. Beautiful. Beautiful. As we are going to be opening up here, so far we do have our hatch first opener out of Rogue. Both players opening up hatch first. Standard opener so far. Likewise, behind this, remember this is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in left side, right side, and top side, so 3 possible spawn locations. And as always, I'm curious to see how Rogue does handle himself against 3Point. ZVZ is, I mean, like all the mirror matchups are very, very different. They have different dynamics. Of course, we have Rogue, who has access to Ling Bane, a sort of Ling Bane composition into Roach play. From the side of 3Point, he has Ling into potentially a Muta play. He is most likely going to be taking into Hydras and Lurkers. That is a more common kind of mid-game composition here for ZVZ. We'll keep an eye on our players. I think this is going to be a really nice challenge for Rogue as well, just because 3Point, he's one of the stronger Zerg players in StarCraft Evolution. I would say he's top 2 alongside Shin. As I mentioned before, maybe I'm giving too much credit to Shin, but just because he has been a little bit less active as of late, so I would say it's a little bit harder to judge. But yeah, I would still say that they're top 2. As Shin did not make it into the playoffs. Oh, but we're going into an early Evo chamber. Okay, so early Evo chamber into early +1 melee, into what looks to be an early Ling Flood. So much more aggressive build. Meanwhile, we do see 3Point going into 2-base lair. He skips Ling speed in favor of the faster lair. He's walling up on 2 bases. If we are going 2-base lair, there's a higher chance that this is going to be 2-base Muta. So interesting setup. There's that melee upgrade that we did mention. Again, Rogue, he can Ling Flood. He can, and this would be more ideal if 3Point was expanding, but 3Point isn't. Because he's staying on 2 bases, he can wall up. But Rogue, he slips in. And Rogue slips in, he gets out full scouts. And Rogue, he will confirm that the lair is about to finish, and there is no Ling speed. Meanwhile, Rogue, it was +1 at melee first into Link speed, so this is lined up to finish up at the same time. So it'll be a strong +1 timing. And there's that Spire. Rogue, he is aware. He already scouts. He confirms. Rogue, he's aware of 2-base Muta. And Rogue is going for the Bane Bust. So he's going for the bust. He's going for the all-in. The goal here for Rogue is to kill 3-point before Mutas. And there is an opening here. We got to wall up. 3-point, he didn't scout the main base. He's not fully aware. Rogue just has free vision. Remember, Brutal or Zerg, no queens. Or I should say, the queen is a very different unit. There's no early game anti-air. So the Overlord can just park itself in the bases. So Rogue has free scouting. Meanwhile, we have more side defense on the way. The Zergling scout, I believe, confirms the lack of saturation. So that might have been enough of a tell here for 3-point to recognize that the all-in is coming. And we need to fully wall up as best we can. We need more colonies. Here comes the Bane Bust. And the only defensive units here are these three Spine Crawlers, these 3 sunken colonies. That's all that there is, and really there's only 2 of them. We have a 3rd one on the way. Here comes the Bane Bust. The first colony should go down. Speaking of, does break through. He takes down the first, now trying to break through that wall. Things are flooding in. Remember, there's no transfuse. Mutas are on the way. Okay, Muta production has begun. The hatchery is getting low. The hatchery is going to go down. We have a couple of Scourge. Catching the Overlord. Oh! That was a bit of a pause. There was a bit of a pause here as Lings, they flood into the main. And we're still just flooding. We're still just Link flooding here. And 3-point will eventually clean everything with these Mutas, but how many drones will he lose? So far, that's 7 drone kills, and we're still not done. Final colony goes down. Lings, they get into the mineral lines. That's going to be, what, another 12 drone kills. 13 even. 13, 14 drone kills. Ay. That's brutal damage. Oh no, Rogue, he slips in a couple of Lings. We have 3 Banelings morphing inside the base of 3 points. And 3-point, he doesn't know. He didn't notice. Yeah, he didn't notice those Zerglings. Behind this 3-point, he's switching into Lurker tech. And ideally, Rogue, he wants to cause a distraction. He wants to distract. Lings, they pick the natural. And Banelings are waddling in. Banelings, they waddle into the mineral line. No reaction. No response. Oof. 6 more drones going down. 7 more drone kills. Lings, they even break through the wall. Oh, God. And Rogue, he should be able to run away with it. Once again, he splits off a couple of Lings. Morphing in more Banelings. Did 3-point notice this time? Did he notice? No, I don't think he did. Yeah, cheeky moves here by Rogue, and 3-point, he doesn't notice that Lings did peel off. So we're doing it again. Once again, we're causing a distraction. Once again, we're waddling in with the Banelings. Behind this, Rogue has been joining, been saturating, getting plenty of anti-air, queens and spine crawlers. Sorry, queens and spores, I should say. Banelings, they waddle in. Once again, a reaction. 6 more drone kills. Jesus. And 3-point, he has no economy. He's down to 15 workers. That's less than a 1-base economy. Ay. And 3-point is all in. He's all in at this point. We have our lunkers moving forward. We've got 4 lunkers, Pappy, 4 lunkers. Oof. And Rogue, he has no roaches yet. Yeah, Rogue's roach production is delayed. He'll fix that on anti-air. Queens are going down. These lurkers are actually getting a lot of damage here. as Rogue, he's been quite greedy. I say greedy, he's been very one-track minded here with purely Spores and Queens. So we go, Roaches are trickling out. These Lurkers are trading well for themselves. They do trade well, but alas, there's not many of them. Down to 2 Lurkers. Down to 2. Another Queen goes down. And again, down to 1 Lurker. Final Lurker does fall. And Rogue holds. Rogue, he holds. Remember, 3-point is all in. Like, this push had to end the game. And he traded well for himself, but not enough damage. As Rogue, he has a booming economy in comparison. So Rogue will just outscale. GG gets called, and Rogue, he takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. He does take a lead in the series. And again, he was able to scout, able to confirm the attempted 2-base muta out of his opponent, and he reacted with the all-in. Was able to Bane Bust. We saw that unfortunately 3-point, he had a late scout. He had a late scout as to what was happening, a late realization of the all-in. We have seen 3-point shut down these all-ins before when going 2-base muta, as he would typically respond with more stack defense, more walls, more sunken conies. But again, the scout was more delayed, so less time to prepare, less setup. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Vermeer. Here we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the, once again, StarCraft 2 Zerg player. He's being allowed to play SE2? Ooh. Okay. Interesting choice. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons leading series 1-0. It is Rogue. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent going for the 12 pool. We have the Brood War Zerg player for Team Hyper 1. It is a 3-point. I'll fix up his colors. There we go. Here we go. So 12 full out of 3-point. We do have a hatch first out of Rogue. I'm sure 3-point did notice. Last game, Rogue also went hatch first on Sylphid. Here he's going hatch first on Vermeer. It is a 4-player small map. We can see that 3-point, he's aware that Rogue is either top right or top left. I should also emphasize this as well. This is a 4-player small map, but specifically in StarCraft Evolution, there is a change that they made where already one of the puzzle spawn locations is removed for both players. So 3-point, he knows that Rogue is not bottom left, and Rogue knows that 3-point isn't bottom left either. So one of the possible spawn locations is removed specifically for 4-player small maps. It is a way to help out when it comes to reacting and scouting and responding to all-ins. To remove a little bit of the RNG. As Rogue confirms that 3-point is not top right. And here come the Zerglings. Here come a couple of boys as well. Boys are being pulled. This should be for a Sunken Colony rush. Again, Rogue, he went hatch first. And I believe 3-point should be heavily favored here to break him. I believe in the meta of ZVZ, for players that are familiar with StarCraft Evolution, which Rogue is not, it is more standard to go pool first because of this Sunken rush. So we'll see if Rogue can shut this down. The boys are being pulled. Can he out-control 3-point? It does get us around. Nicely done. Does around, but the colony's on the way, and I believe it should finish. Lings are being dealt with, but Rogue, I don't know if he can do. Oh, he can! He'll force a cancel. Not bad. Very nice defense. Yeah, Rogue, the surround that earlier was brutal, and he will force a cancel, and Rogue will shut this down. Very impressive. He should shut down the colonies. As he pulls away, which means they're going to finish. Looks like he wanted to secure kills. He didn't want to cancel. Okay, good. Did want to secure the kills. Looking at the Unicell tab, that is crazy. 1 drone kill. He killed 2 sunken colonies, 1 creep colony, 12 lings for 1 drone and 6 lings. A very clean defense here by Rogue. Very impressive. And 3-point, he's falling further behind. This is a very rough position for 3-point. I'm sure the spawn locations were a factor. It was cross spawn, so longer rush distance by ground. It gave Rogue more time. And here comes the second wave. Second all in. And Rogue confirms. God, that's a lot of links. Rogue he confirms. Back at home, we have colonies on. Also, we have colonies. We have spine crawlers on the way. He's fully walling up his natural. Second queen is coming down for added DPS over the wall. As Rogue, he actually gets a secondary wall as well. Colonies are on the way. Queens are getting free damage on the Lings. Walls are finishing. And we should soon see a transfuse to get the queens up and running. There we go. One Eva chamber goes down. Spine crawler is done. Oh, the Broodling's even trading. And again, these colonies, they will finish. Spine crawler's within range. We can even attack from the high ground. True. He can attack from the high ground. And GG. GG gets called 3-point. He cannot break through. And Rogue, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Again, a very impressive defense out of Rogue to shut down the initial all-in, to shut down the initial spine rush. Again, he has some very nice worker control to surround 3-point, to get a full surround, to shut down those initial Zerglings, and to force a cancel on that first sunken colony as well. Very impressive. GG. GG. Well played with that. Rogue, he is one game away from claiming the entire series. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Kipster in the chat, to Kipsteer 86. Thank you so much, Pappy God. Thank you so much for subscribing for 5 months, almost half a year of support. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pappy. Thank you. As we're getting into potentially the final game of the series, and once again, he's allowed to play at we'll get into it. But spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the SE2 Zerg player. We have South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Going for a 13-12. And spawning, yep, 13-12. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg representing Team Hyper 1. Going for a 15-15. It is 3-point. Oh boy, this is going to be an interesting dynamic here. So Rogue, with a 13-12, is going to be rushing into Link Speed. He could stay in gas and turn this into a Bane Bust. So he could commit into a Bane Bust here, or he could just go for a Link Flood. He does have some options with how he wants to invest his gas. Behind this, we do see that 3-point is going for a Hatch first opener. What looks to be a Hatch gas pool. If so, this is going to be lining up better for Rogue, and we'll see if 3-point can survive this. It does go for a spawning pool before Gas Geyser, thankfully, so he will be able to get a little bit of earlier link production, and hopefully an earlier sunken colony once he realizes what's going on. But it is more difficult to scout these early rushes, specifically on Maganatha. The reason for this is because this Overlord Scout will not see the Lings. Lings, because of the attack path on this map, they can bypass the Overlord, they can skirt around the edge, and it takes a little bit longer for the Overlord to really confirm what's going on. That is one of the big downsides of Maganatha, and why something like a 12 pool or a 13-12 is stronger on this map, as Lings are fanning out, and this Overlord won't see anything until it hits the natural base. Link speed is on the way. You can see the Rogue pulls out, so he's not going for the Bane Bust. So he pulls out of gas, so purely Link speed. As Lings are amassing, 3-point is still trying to scout. Does make a wave of Zerglings. Okay. Does move in. Lings, they're flying across the map. Remember, there is that earlier Link speed timing for Rogue, much earlier, and now 3-point knows. And now he sees the progression of the hatchery. He knows that it's not done, so he's aware it was an earlier pool. We have the colony on the way. True. He just has to buy time for the colony, and then it'll be okay. As 3-point, he is holding. They should be able to hold on. Lings, they sip into the bases, but there are plenty of Zerglings to defend. And 3-point will shut this down. Ooh, okay. He's even got a sunken colony in the main. You could argue a bit of an overreaction. Jesus. He's investing very hard into this side defense. Remember, Rogue is droning. Now, Rogue is behind. True, he is behind. But this is a big investment here from 3-point. Throwing down more colonies, more wolves. Again, he's terrified that another wave is coming. Things are spotted. 3 points moving out. Rogue checks the wall. And Rogue preemptively pulls back with the queen. Pulls back, he pulls away. Oh, it does get a surround though. Yeah, brutal surround. The other queen a little bit late to respond. One queen falls. Very nice pick off here by 3 points. Will get surrounded. But did get a queen, did deny mining. And does get a drone. One drone did go down. So not bad. From here we can turn this into 2-base muta. So 2-base mutas on the way. We saw this attempted in game 1 from 3 points. And now he can more comfortably get into it here as well. Nice to wake up at 4 AM and start watching StarCraft. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. Get some rest, man. Get some rest. As we're waiting for the lair to get into that spire. After what happened in game 1, Rogue should be familiar with. I mean, he sees everything. True. Like the overlords, they see everything. So Rogue, he's fully aware of the attempted muta play. Spire's thrown down at the natural. Rogue, he sees it. He knows. Now, just because he knows doesn't mean he can stop it. Because of his disrupted economy early on, he can't really commit to an all-in like he did previously. So Rogue is going to have to be defensive. As 3-point, he does break out. Spire is almost done. So far, just containing Rogue on 2 bases. Nice pickoff. Does contain. And on the one hand, yes, Rogue, he should be able to defend on 2 bases against the muta play as Spore production has begun. But at the same time, the 3-point should be able to freely expand. And from here, he can switch out of muta into lurker tech. He can switch into lurkers. Get into hive tech, saturate his 3rd base. 3-point has options. Rogue less so. They move in, they once again cancel the 3rd base. They're just trying to hold on here. No Spore. Yeah, no Spore. The natural GG gets called, and with that 3-point, he will overwhelm. He will put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, the game did begin with Rogue going for a 13-12, which was a bold move, but as we saw the conies already in time, we saw that 3-point did not go hatch gas pool, he went hatch pool. He went hatch pool, so the pool was done earlier, which means conies were available earlier as well. Once they finished up, he held. He held, he defended, and with that, Rogue, he fell behind. He fell further behind here. And now we have a series. Thankfully, we have a series, we have it back and forth. Interesting, as Rogue, so my big criticism so far in the series was at 3 point, he was allowing Rogue to play StarCraft 2 Zerg, which I feel like is Rogue at his best, at his strongest. That's something that was concerning me, but with Rogue losing that last game, Rogue is deciding to play with Brood War Zerg. Okay, let's go. Show us what you got. I'm ready, Pappy, I'm ready. As we are getting into Pylon. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the... Oh, let's go. It's going for the 12 pool. We have the red Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg leading the series 2-1 and 1 game away from claiming this series. Going for the 12 pool, it is Rogue. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg, the SE2 Zerg. For Hyper 1, it is 3 points. Wait, what just happened? Was that misclick? He canceled the pull. Did he misclick the pull to cancel? He was meant to cancel the gas geyser, yes, but what just happened? What? what just was that? Was that not intent? That wasn't intentional, right? Like, did he box the pull by accident? I mean, now we expand, but okay. We're going hatch pull. Let's go. So an interesting setup here from Rogue, interesting early game, as he will be bleeding out some early resources because of all the cancellations. Interesting start. Oh boy, okay. let's go. From here, we just see 3 point is able to get into his own gas first. Link speed is on the way, as he did open up gas, a pull into a delayed hatchery, so early link speed here from 3 point. And Rogue, he is going to try to settle in here. As this is going to be a very fast link speed timing, and we're staying in gas. Bane bust. This should be a Bane bust here from our Zerg player. I mean, we're holding on to a lot of gas. We can't afford a Baneley Nest. What's the plan? Do we go for the net? There it is. Baneley Nest is on the way. A little bit more delayed here for 3 point, but it's on the way nonetheless. 3 point moves out. I mean, he confirmed the earlier hatchery. And to defend against this Rogue, he will need to wall off, and get those spine coolers or those sunken colonies up and running. Yeah, the early game was either a bit of a misclick or just indecisiveness out of Rogue. One or the other. From here, Lair is on the way. He's going to base Lair. He's walling up. Rogue, he hasn't seen much. He saw how late the hatchery was. Now he sees link speed. He knows. Yeah, now he knows he needs to fully wall up. He needs more colonies. But getting there earlier Lair might kill him. Some of the larva breaks through the front door. Lings are flooding in. So far, 1 colony to defend. Is the 1 colony going to be enough? Ooh, does fully wall off. Clutch moves. And Clutch moves out of Rogue. He denies reinforcements. 2 Baneleys morphing in. Rogue, can he shut this down? Spots the Banelings. He's aware. Denies both, and Rogue, he's holding. Wow, Rogue, he's holding on with the bare minimum as well. He defended against the gas first with a singular spine crawler, with a singular colony. Okay, impressive. Now he's fully walling up though. But it does mean that he gets away with the lair. He gets away with the lair, which means he can start to tech up. Unfortunately, the drone count is lackluster because he had to spend so many drones on this wall. And 3 point is droning. 3 point is droning up. And you can definitely argue that Rogue, he overcommitted here. Spyro's on the way. Rogue, he has to drone as hard as he can. Just chasing the Lings. Remember, Rogue doesn't have Link speed, intentionally so. So keeping up with the Lings is not easy. I mean, they're not really doing much anyway. They're just keeping Rogue busy. As 3 is droning, getting into +1 melee. 3 he is aware of the 2 base muta. And 3 still has a shaky economy. Oh no, okay. As he has to break down his door to get into mining. There we go. Actually make use of the lava here at the macro hatchery. From here we're droning. Muta production has begun. We just see 3 responding with his own lair. Interesting. 2 base lair. Would 3 respond with his... No, I was gonna say muta play, but muta versus muta is very different in StarCraft Evolution because of the Scourge, right? The Scourge is a big factor that does deter muta play from occurring from the SE2 side of things. So this most likely should just be fast, either fast Infestation Pit for fast spellcasters or fast Hydra Den into Hydra production. We'll see which is going to be. Meanwhile, Rogue, he's switching into his Hydra Den as well, switching into his own Lurker production. And there's the Hydra Den from 3 So both players switching to Hydras, both players working towards eventually Lurkers as well. Takes his zone away. Lurker tech is being researched. Getting into those Lurkers. We are still just taking up. 3 I'm curious if he's recognized that there's a lower muta count. That it hasn't gotten bigger, I should say. If so, then it would be wise to get into his own Lurker tech a little bit faster. As Hydras are amassing. We have Rogue going a Ling Lurker. These Lurkers have morphed in. We have 6 Lurkers here for Rogue. Getting up to 7, pushing in. He has been scouted. Yeah, he has been spotted. Lurkers do borrow. 1 Lurker does get picked up. Player's still just forcing his way in. And no detection. Wow, no detection whatsoever. Queens go down. Hydra's going to be zoned away. Now we can just go straight for the 3rd. And 3 can't do anything about it. Oh god! He's now pushing in. The Spore, true, the Spore does push forward. But now there are more Lurkers. And the Lurkers was just catching 3 with his pants down. Again, it was getting ready for the muta, so it was not ready for the Lurkers. And Rogue, he will overwhelm. And it takes over the Hydras, takes over the Natural. And GG gets called. Rogue, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Rogue, as it does claim the series a bit of a faster best of 5 compared to the initial one. But again, we did have some cheeky build, some cheeky play. We had no standard back and forth macro, but we don't expect that between 3-Point and Rogue. Like, they're typically more aggressive, more active, more in your face. And with that, Rogue was able to claim it in the end. It was a bit of a shakier start when it came to Rogue's decision as to whether he was going to go pool first or hatch first or how he wanted to open up. But in the end, he had a really nice defense. I was most impressed by Rogue's defensive play, to be honest, both in this game and on, was it on Maganatha, where he was able to defend beautifully against the 13-12 of his opponent. When we saw 3-Point, sorry, it wasn't Maganatha, but it was 3-Point trying to go for the 13-12, trying to link flood, and we saw that Rogue, he was able, sorry, it was a 12 pull, I think, and Rogue was able to pull the boys, get a surround on the links, right? It was a sunken colony rush, and he defended it beautifully against the sunken rush. It was insane defense out of Rogue. He lost one drone to that defense. That was insane. And yeah, that was a bit of a sign of things to come. So really impressive defense out of Rogue throughout multiple points in this series, and with that, GG, Rogue does advance on, and we have TaeJa versus Rogue in the upper semi-finals. I mean, hey, I kind of got ahead of myself. We can switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. As you can see here, TaeJa took down Cure 3-1, advancing onto the semis, and Rogue took down 3-3-1 as well. So it's going to be TaeJa versus Rogue in those upper semi-finals, but we are going to be covering that for day 2. That's going to be in a couple of days' time. For now, we're focusing on the rest of the quarterfinals. We have Beyond versus Creator and Classic versus Mana. We still have 2 more matches remaining in the round of 8. 2 more matches to go. As up next is going to be Beyond versus Creator. 2 good friends facing off. I do look forward to it. They are going to be... I do look forward to it just because they do face off quite often in SE2. They trade back and forth, but I don't think I've had the luxury of casting them in StarCraft Evolution, so we'll see how they compare. We'll see. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Kipsteer in the chat. Gab, I mean, thanks so much for the gifted sub to Fractal in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. Do appreciate it. Este Kipsteer. Oh no. Some reasons ZVZ is always the best mirror matchup for me. It's always so much fun to watch. For sure. ZVZ is always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun. But unfortunately, we didn't really get into the mid game. Like, I'm still thinking of like some of my favorite ZVZs in the history of StarCraft Evolution was Shin versus Dark in last year's StarCraft Evolution Championship. Like, that's still burned into my skull. Like, that's still like. I don't think that we've seen a ZVZ quite top that, but one day we'll get into it, where we had like more of like a macro mid-game ZVZ. Like, we had like, what was it? Devourer, like, Muta? Like, Devourer Guardian against Hydra Lurker Viper. It was crazy. I don't think we've quite reached that yet, but one day we'll get there again. Guardian Devourer versus Hydra Lurker Viper. Crazy. For now, though, we are going to be going on a short break because we do have another gifted sub in the chat. To Rigel. Thank you so much. Este Kipsteer. Calm down, baby, calm down. But thank you so much for the support. Always do appreciate it. I'm sure those receiving subs in the chat do appreciate it as well. If you want to take advantage of that sub, you do gain subs, emotes, of course, in the chat, but you also gain access to subscriber replay packs. We do give out replay packs on our Discord server to our subscribers, so if you want access to some of the matches that we cover here on the channel, then replay packs are available to you, so you'd have access. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break. We're halfway through the broadcast. We're going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have Beyond versus Creator facing off. We'll see you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to StarCraft Evolution League Championship Season 2 Playoffs Day number 1. We are here. We are back. We just wrapped up with our first two quarterfinal matches. We already have two players confirmed for the semis. TaeJa and Rogue have made it through into the semifinals. We are here to determine who will join them in the semis, as we have two matches remaining. Also, before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out in the chat to Slowjo. Papi guy, Slowjo gifting a sub to 007. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Thank you, Papi, thank you. Slowjo and Kipsteer as well. Thank you for all the gifted subs. And I start at the start of the broadcast. For now, though, we are jumping into our quarterfinals. We have a TVP, finally a non-mirror matchup. Let's go as we're jumping in. Game 1 is going to be on Vermeer. Now, when it comes to these two players, this is where both players are a lot more well-versed in StarCraft Evolution. One more so than the other. I would say that our Terran player here is stepping into the ring as the best Terran in SC Evo. We'll get there, though. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. Representing Shopify Rebellion, it is a Bjorn. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself, the South Korean Protoss, the SC2 Protoss. It is Creator. Here we go. Our TVP is upon us here, and again, Bjarni stepping in as the best Terran in all of StarCraft Evolution. He's devoted a lot of time, has improved a lot, has shaped the meta, and even forced balance patches around him as well. With how he does approach this. Meanwhile, Creator, he is similar to Rogue, Kieran, Gumiho in the sense that he's also one of the players that was invited to compete, that also did not play as much SC Evo this year, but post EWC, post Esports World Cup, Creator has been more active. He's been playing in some of the open bi-weekly tournaments, he's been playing in show matches as well. Creator, he has been embracing and playing more SC Evo than the other aforementioned players in Gumiho, Kieran, Rogue. So Creator, he is more well versed. But we'll see how he compares, because again, he is up against Bjorn, and Bjorn, he plays Terran like no other in SC Evo. We'll see if Creator can keep up. They often do trade and go blow for blow in StarCraft 2, but in SC Evo, I have to give the edge to Bjorn. For now, though, we're settling in. We just see Bjorn is going for 3-axe. Yep, 3-axe stim out of Bjorn. This is a build that he is very fond of. I mean, I say he is very fond of. That all Terrans are fond of. This is a build that has been permeating throughout the meta. Fun fact, almost every single patch that we receive, this build gets nerfed in some way. There's been so many patches in the last, what, 6+ months, adjusting medic priority, medic armor, build time for stim, build time for the academy, attack priority, HP, DPS rates, DPS outputs. So much. Despite that, still a solid way to play, still a solid way to approach this, as we are going for an early stim timing. Early stim timing here. I would say that for the most part, this build has been quote-unquote found out, where a lot of players have gotten better and better at defending against this. We've seen a lot of players have success with Robo Openers, going Robo Opener into faster Colossus to shut this down. We have seen players shut this down with earlier Blink play to be active early on to slow this down and to shut it down. Charge-based openers also can work very well against this. So there are different ways to approach this kind of build, and we have seen a lot of experimentation and a lot of refinement in that case as well. The problem is that I would say that when I'm discussing players like Hero, players like Classic, when it comes to Creator, again, I don't know how much he's played. I'm sure he's played against this build before. How confident is he against it? Does he open Charge or Blink? What's it going to be? As he does open up with a 2-gate opener. Interesting. That's a second gateway before his tech structure. With his Creator is poking out, he has found his opponent. And medic production has begun. Stim is on the way. As we mentioned before, this is a very strong 3-back stim timing. Very strong timing here. And a big... Oh, Jesus. And a big shout to Slow Joe in the chat for some more gifted subs. Oh my god, for 10 gifted subs for the community. Este Slow Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And shout out to Wooman12, to Epi, to Restart, to TRX, Mesmerize, Weak, W33K, Lost Lucidity, New Balance, Death Dweller, and Jair as well. GG. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pappy. Thank you so much. As here comes that sim, here comes the move out. But that's this Lojo. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the support. Gracias, Pappy. Gracias. We do appreciate it. Como siempre, Pappy. Como siempre. Yeah. As Bjorn is pushing, he has bled out no Marines so far. The power of the medic. As Bjorn has been very efficient, he's made his way across the map. He scans, sees the attempt at third base. Blink is on the way. But Creator, he doesn't really have much to defend. And Marines, they shut down the first Stalker. He gets one, he gets two. 2 Stalkers go down. Nice catch out of Bjorn, and he should be able to force a cancel. Oh, base does finish. Okay. Can Creator save the expansion? Another Sim. Gets another Stalker. Remember, there's no Blink. Yeah, no Blink is available. Sentry goes down, but looks like Creator will hold. Whew, okay, Creator, he will hold on. He will shut this down. Did cost Creator a lot of Stalkers. That was 3 Stalkers going down and a Sentry, but he saves the expansion. He doesn't lose any probes. Creator defends. Oh no! Oh, as he gets caught out. Losing one of his Stalkers. Blink is finally done. Oh no! Creator, get out of here! He pulls away in time, he saves the final Stalker, and with that we're getting into the mid-game. Behind this Beyond, he's working towards Siege mode, getting into Biotank. So Biotank, third base is on the way, we're building up into a longer game state. Likewise, Creator, he's switching into Colossus production. Double Forge on the way, Base on the way, working towards Colossus. Let's go. As Creator has now gained map control. Let's gain control of the map. From here, moving out. Oh, sniping the tank. Oh no, no, he's missing. No, did you see that? I mean, that's StarCraft Evolution for you. Yes, we saw the Creator had high ground vision, but that doesn't matter. High ground vision does not matter. He shot up a rev, and he missed 2 volleys, 2 full volleys. Ay, ay, ay. Again, 46% chance to miss, Pappy. The tank lives, it shouldn't have. But the RNG in Beyond's favor. I'm telling you, siege tanks, Pappy, they're nimble boys. They can bob, they can weave. They'll dodge your shots. Little known fact, Brood War tanks, they're very agile. Very agile. They're very... Oh god. As Zelsay drop into the main. Picking off two SCVs, nothing major. Oh! The Prism is trapped here. Prism is trapped, gets shut down. Ay, not worth it if a Creator losing the War Prism. Losing more Stalkers, and Biana can now expand. 46% miss chance? Yes. It's there's a 46% chance to miss when you attack up a ramp onto high ground. Creator finding that out the hard way. He gambat, papi. And remember, it was 46% chance to miss, but he missed it twice. He had 2 volleys that both missed. Both missed. Seeing Beyond playing SC1 Terran feels wrong. I mean, as I mentioned before, Beyond, he is the best Terran player in StarCraft Evolution, in Brood War, in StarCraft 1, like in this game mode. You don't get better than Beyond. I know there are players like TaeJa and Dice that have been improving a lot, true. I might say that TaeJa and Dice are just behind Beyond. I think I might go that far. I got a love for players like Bratok and Quanto, of course, but they've been having less success in tournaments. Same with Kyrian, for example. Beyond, he does rotate, dives for the mineral lines. Oh, doesn't quite get in. Doesn't make it through. Beyond, he started with the 3-Vax, but he's switching into mech. He does go for the full switch into mech instead. So we'd love to see it. Spider-Mines are being set up. Creator going for a Zealot run by. Let's go for the run by. Gets caught out. Meanwhile, Beyond, he does have the high ground.
Our SCVs are under attack.
The Brood War sound effects. The nostalgia, baby, the nostalgia. As we have a second Prism into the main. This time should have a little bit more success as there is no turrets. Yeah, the Warpin will complete this time. Beyond racing back home. Pushing back into the bases. Yeah, losing 7 SCVs, 8 SCVs going down. Zelsa going ham in the mineral line. They're trading well. As we're going for another Warpin. Just going back and forth. Oh, does pull away. Pulls away, thinks better of it. Still building a more Colossus. Immortal production has begun. Second Robo's on the way. Sorry, I believe third. Yeah, second Robo. Beyond is now breaking through. Moves in. Does siege up in time. Behind this, there is an opening for the War Prism. As Beyond is setting up the minefield. Yeah, Spider-Man's being thrown down. Zellstay try to engage. Remember the Observer got sniped? No Observer, no detection. Uh-oh. Oof. Yeah, brutal connections. But no detection for Creator. He's making Immortals, going for a counterattack at the same time. He's headed for the natural. Does move in. Oh, as Beyond is trying to push his way through. An inefficient fight. Beyond bleeding out a lot of vultures. Creator, he gets into the main. Let's go. Gets into the main base, camping the production. Gets into more mineral lines, more SCVs going down. And Beyond, he's not really gaining ground here. We got to keep going. We have to keep pushing. Oh, that's going to be 17 SCV kills. Disruptor has arrived. Tanks is slowly pushing forward. They're finally getting on top of the production. Tanks are moving in. These vultures are still being kept up. Zelda trading so efficiently here. Oh my god. The Zelda trading so well. Still just keeping up. We're still keeping the production busy back at home. And this main army is getting smaller and smaller. Like, we've been losing and bleeding out more vultures. You can see here, Creator getting ready for the surround. He's going in. He collapses forward. Spider Mines, they will connect, but alas, he gets surrounded. Beyond gets cleaned up. GG gets called. Creator, he shuts down the main army, and Creator, he takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Creator, he does take a lead. Again, Beyond, he had a little momentum, but the run-bys, the counterattacks, and the Warp Prism warp-ins were proving too much. They were delaying reinforcements, they were delaying the production. It meant that Beyond was stuck at home, and he was losing a lot at home as well. Losing not just SCVs, but a lot of that production line was actually being shut down by those Zealots. So a very nice counterattack, and that led into the eventual surround. As we were pointing out, Beyond's main army was also getting smaller and smaller. He was bleeding out a lot of units, whether it was tanks, whether it was vultures, so he had less support, and GG. GG, well played. Creator does start things off with a win. Does kick things off with a win, and now we're heading over into game number 2. We're going to be getting into Pylon. Whew, let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing himself, currently teamless, but leading the series 1-0. It is a Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have once again the Brood War Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify. It is a Beyond. We go. I'm playing StarCraft Mass Recall. Let's go. As a reminder as well, and I bring this up just because, of course, we're playing this game mod. But there is a, I guess, quote unquote, say quote unquote, there is a newer version of Mass Recall in the works, which is StarCraft Evolution Complete. Oh, there is a little bit of latency, looks like. Hopefully things clear up. But this is StarCraft Evolution. This is the 1v1 mode. But there's also StarCraft Evolution Complete, which is basically the creators of this mod, their best recreation of Brood War in StarCraft 2 with, all these mechanics, with all these new models that they're making, right? So there's going to be all these new models, there's going to be all these new assets for the campaign. I don't think it's complete yet. It's called StarCraft Evolution Complete, but I think that's still in the works, but I think it's mostly done. And it's something they've been working on. So that's also going to be available as well. So you'll be able to make use of these units, of these models, of all of this with the Brood War campaign in StarCraft 2. So that's something to look forward to. Something to look forward to. So now we are going to be opening up. And this time, Beyond, he is going for a different opener. Last game, he went for initially 3 racks into mech. This time, we are going racks into factory. We can go 1-1-1, or we can go into additional factories from here into a more mech-heavy start. Do we go second factory? Eyes on the SCV. Initial Zealot goes away. Beyond has the money for it. Yep, second factory. So second factory, this should be a vulture-based opener. This is another style that Beyond is quite fond of. Just going straight into mech. With vultures in the early game. As Creator, he's able to pick up an SCV. Guess an SCV disrupts the early game. Behind this, once again, going for a Twilight Council, most likely going into Blink Stalkers. But of course, welcome to Pylon. Pylon is a much smaller map, but shorter rush distance by ground, aggression can be more favored here, and we'll see what Beyond can get done with the mech setup. As we're expecting earlier Ion Thrusters or Spider Mines, we're expecting both. Technically, we could go into Siege mode and into a more tank-heavy start, but yeah, we're going into Vultures. Opening up Vulture, getting into mech. The Academy is on the way. Bearing in mind the Academy is a prerequisite for a Comsat station to be able to scan. And the Comsat station is on the way. Hallucination does confirm, is aware that it should be Massive Vulture. Does see both the upgrades researching. So Creator, he knows. Does spot the vultures. Creator, he knows, he is aware. We have 2 more factories on the way. Now, when it comes to how vultures work here, one, Spider-Mines can be brutal. They can completely shut down armies. But as a reminder, Spider-Mines, they are a little bit different than Widow Mines, for example. They don't shoot up. They don't shoot up. They do cause friendly fire. But they do have to unburrow and then run at the opponent, which means you can actually micro against it and focus down Spider-Mines before they connect. As when they unburrow, they are no longer invisible. So you can try to focus them down, even without detection. So vultures, they try to force their way in. Here come the spider mines. Yeah, they do burrow. The last not quite able to get on top of the army. Creator does kite away. You can see beyond, he was trying to burrow the spider mines on top of the army, but Creator, he backed off. And he will bait out the spider mines. Will bait. One spider mine left. From here, we're switching to tanks. Siege mode is being researched. More spider mines being set up as beyond, he's gaining map control. Creator, he does spot this. Does have the observer. And with that, he should clean up these mines. Again, the spider mine range is very short. Very short. Oh. This Creator is keeping up with beyond. So good. Does keep up. Nice catching the army on siege. He gets 1, he gets 2 tanks. Yeah, 2 tanks. Spider mines are not ready here. Stalkers, they actually trade decently well. Oh, but he's getting shut down. He's getting punished. Vultures, they eventually work their way through some of these stalkers. This Creator pulls out. He pulls out, but that was what, 9 vultures and 3 tanks for 9 stalkers. Not the worst trade for Creator. I was gonna go through 3 tanks. Slowing down Yan. Does slow him down. He needs a little bit more time to get into charge. Charge is gonna be a big power spike here for Creator, especially against mech. He needs those zealots. Ooh. Nice tank shots, nice scan. Is moving in. And again, Creator, he needs to slow this down. But there are just so many tanks. Creator barely doesn't get it. Tank survives. Beyond's pushing in. Again, welcome to Pylon. It takes so little time to get across the map into the 3rd. Beyond, he's almost there, and there's no high ground advantage here. As this 3rd base is just so accessible. And the reason why we see a lot of aggression on Pylon. Nice force fields. Oof. Spider mine does connect, and charge is almost complete. He's almost there. Oh, and the base is going to go down. He cannot save it. The base falls. Beyond is snowballing out of control, takes out the Nexus. Nice, very nice force fields. Creator, he resets the vulture count. For the most part, we have more vultures coming in. The tank count is still very healthy. Beyond is going to try to push forward. So I'll say take down 3 of the tanks, but the tank boys are brutal here. The Immortals are going down, and Beyond, he's done it. He cleans up the army. Zealots are trading well, but there's only 3-4 Zealots left. GG gets called. Beyond snowballs out of control, and Beyond ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Creator, he was unable to slow the army down. Again, on Pylon, this hits different. To be honest, it does hit different because you have so little time to react, to respond, and to slow down the army. On top of that, your third base is very exposed on Pylon as well. Unlike on other maps, there's no high ground advantage. There's no... the defender's advantage of the third base is weaker on Pylon. GG. GG, well played. Beyond, he does overwhelm, does break through, and with that, we have a tied up scoreline. We have a back and forth. That's what we were hoping for, Pappy. That's what we wanted. As we're jumping to game 3, we'll see who takes the lead in the series as we are loading into Holy World. This is also a crazy map. we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Holy World, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have, once again, the Brood War Terran representing Shopify. It is Beyond. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the SE2 Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is Creator. And welcome one and all to Holy World. Holy World is a 4-player spawn map. You can see here you can spawn in top left, top right, or bottom left. Beyond, he's opening up with the proxy. Let's go. SCVs are fanning out. 3 SCVs straight into the center for the proxy. Let's go. Hyper aggression out of Beyond. See if he can overwhelm. As you can see, Holy World has some unique features. First things first, we have a neutral CC in the center. We have neutral disruption webs in the center as well, so this can factor in when we get into the mid game if the game does go on that long. As Beyond, he's not taking gases, going pure 3 racks Marine. Meanwhile, Creator does open up Nexus first. Ooh, Nexus first out of Creator. Now, to be fair, Beyond hasn't found him yet, but eventually he will. And this is going to hit very hard, and he will punish the greed. On top of that, and if you notice something, one of the biggest factors of Holy World, the main base is on the low ground. We have a ramp going down into the main base. Likewise, you have all this high ground elevation surrounding the main base as well. So the main base is actually harder to defend than on other maps. Much, much harder. If we're forced back into the main, you can see Creator, of course, expanding at the forward location. Beyond finds him. Beyond does find him. And the proxy has been confirmed. Creator, now he knows. Bunker's on the way on the high ground as well. Boys are being pulled. Can he stop the bunker? Oh. Bunker's getting low. The Marines are amassing. And that's going to be a lot of dead probes. 2 workers going down. The bunker will complete. Zealots on the way. More boys are being pulled. Creator, he has to stop this. He has to. Does around. Okay, does lock down the army. But the bunker does complete. Some Marines, they dive in the bunker. GG gets called. And with that, Beyond will take a lead in the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. The stars aligning for Beyond. Unfortunately, Creator, what did he go for? Nexus first. Creator, he went Nexus first. That does mean that his first gateway units were delayed, and he had to rely on purely probes for the initial defense. So Creator, he gambled, going for a greedy build. Beyond also gambled at cheesing, and again, it all lined up. It all lined up for Beyond. Creator, he was cutting corners. He gets punished for it, and with that, GG. GG, well played. The bunker did finish, and with that bunker finishing, there was no defense available for Creator. And with that, we're getting into our next game. We'll see if Beyond can close it out here and now. We'll see if Creator can force the ace match. Personally, I'm hoping for the ace match, but the pressure is on. The pressure is on. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Sylphid, we have the, once again, SE2 Protoss. Is he ever going to play Brood War this series? The SE2 Protoss player, it is a Creator. Currently down in the series. Pressure is on. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have once again the Brood War Terran player, the blue Terran for Shopify. It is a Beyond. Here we go. I do find it interesting that even in the games that Beyond has lost, in the aftermath he still commits to Brood War Terran. still commits. As this time, no proxy. This time the Rax is back at home. As a reminder, Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map. So 3 possible spawn locations. This time Creator doesn't open Nexus first. After the last game, he's learned his lesson. He's learned his lesson. Creator doesn't take a chance. Now going for his probe scouts. And we do have a double gas opener out of Beyond. So double gas means a faster factory, delayed CC. With a faster factory, this might be a 1-base double factory vulture setup. No! No, he didn't scout! No, Creator! He pokes in, he sees no CC, he sees no SimCity here at the ramp or at the entrance. And Creator, he believes that Beyond is somewhere else. Oh no. Creator! And it is 1 base, it's double factory. Double factory vulture on 1 base. Ay, 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 and Creator doesn't know. That's unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. As Creator, he goes in and he's gonna do a double take. He's like, wait, what? He's like, what? What's going on? Not like this. Now he has to go back around and back towards the main, going for a Stargate opener. Ooh, that's gonna be brutal. Stargate openers are ideal to gain map control and to shut down drop play, but against early aggression like Mass Vulture, okay, there we go. I was like, why is Siege Mode being researched? Against Mass Vulture, I don't know how suitable Stargate openers are going to be here. It's going to be that much less to defend. Probe Scout is coming in, and he sees the racks. He does see the floating racks. That is a sign, that is a tell. Now he knows it should be mech, so he at least confirms that. So Creator, he's somewhat aware. Oh. But he already committed to the Stargate. Oracle's on the way, vultures are amassing, getting into ion thrusters, getting into spider mines. Okay, so thankfully we do have a safety shield battery. Shield battery, some SimCity. There's only 1 gate, right? Yeah, only 1 gateway, so we can warp in 1 unit at a time. Maybe warp gate isn't even done. Remember, we prioritize the Stargate, we prioritize the Oracle. Now these vultures don't shoot up, so the Oracle might be able to focus on a couple of vultures, true, with the energy overcharge as well. We'll see if we keep the Oracle at home. And so far, Creator, he does keep it at home. Okay. So he's playing... never mind. There's the energy overcharge. He's heading across the map to the CC, to the bases. The Oracle commits. Spider mines are done. And Beyond, he's just going to try to brute force his way through the natural. Yep, he just runs in. He just runs past. He throws on spider mines at the entrance to the main. Edepse can shade in. He can shade in. Oracle does pop out. Oof. And we're going for the mineral line. Yeah, we're just going for the mineral line. Oof, the Edepse cannot hold their own, not against this many vultures. A little bit of a misclick there. The Oracle's doing what it can. SCVs are falling. So are probes. And once again, we just cannot walk through this minefield. No. Oh, speaking of, yeah, Edepse go down to the spider mines. Once again, we can just drag the army into the minefield. And that's gonna be 13 probe kills, and we're still not done. Drag him in. Oh no! Oof, brutal connection. Yeah, spider mines are popping off. 19 probe kills. That Oracle is getting damage done across the map, but it pales in comparison. As Biani still has more spider mines. He's still dealing more damage. Getting up to 23 kills. Oh, was the CC cancelled? Hold on. I could have sworn there was a CC on the way, but it was cancelled. Okay, so things are getting a little... They're getting chaotic. On the one hand, Bian is stuck on 1 base. He's stuck on 1 base, and he is losing so many SCVs. Creator, he can replenish his army. He can replenish his workers, more importantly. He has 2 bases. Goliath production has begun. My apologies. In my mind, the CC had completed. In my mind, it was finishing, but it did not. The CC did not finish. With that, Bjorn, the vultures they were dealt with. Bjorn is stuck at home. He's got 2 Goliaths. Creator, he can pop up. Let's go. He's going for it. He's going for the kill. Gets 1 of the Goliaths. Gets 1, gets 2. There's 2 Goliaths left. Ooh, they do get the Void Ray. Yeah, Void Ray goes down, but GG gets called. Creator, he overwhelms, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Creator. His Oracle across the map looks like did force a cancel on the CC, never did complete, never did finish, and of course with all the vultures falling, there was no follow-up, there was no army back at home to defend. In the end, the Oracle was the MVP. The Oracle did do enough critical damage across the map to allow Creator to recover. GG. GG, well played. Whew, we're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game 5. It all ends here. It all ends on Purity and Industry, and we are not going to see Creator play Brutal Protoss. It's not going to happen. Every game, Bjorn has committed to Brutal Terran. That continues here into the ace match. Meanwhile, shout out to Kipster in the chat. God, baby God. Thank you so much for the gift sub to Stealth Vapor as well. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I see Stealth Vapor is asking, what is that Terran icon for Bjorn? So specifically, I believe that's the icon. Is that the Dominion logo? I can't quite recall. But basically, whenever a player plays the Brood War side of things, they do have a unique logo to represent that. They're not playing SE2, they're playing Brood War. Is that the Dominion logo? Or is that... That's not the Confederacy logo, right? Hold on. I gotta look it up. Yes, there you go. I know my Brood War. So the logo next to Bjorn's name is the Dominion logo from Brood War. But sporting in the bottom right-hand corner, on the right side of Purity and Industry, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the SE2 Protoss. Tying up the series, forcing the ace match, it is Creator. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player, the Dominion Terran. Cap. For Shopify, it is Bjorn. Looks like a flexing arm. It is. That's the Dominion logo in Brood War. It's a flexing arm, and it's meant to have a star. It's meant to have like a star with it as well. And the swirl around it is a whip. Just adds a heads up. It's a flex with a whip, happy. Nope. Here we go. But yes, there's also a unique logo for Brood War Zerg and for Brood War Protoss as well. Whip him, happy, whip him. As behind this, we are opening up Stim. So we have a 3-racks opener here with Early Academy, Early Stim. The Academy is actually a little bit faster this time for Bjorn. Interesting. But the rush distance by ground here is, I say a little bit shorter. I believe it's actually decently long. And we'll see how Bjorn will approach this. Meanwhile, welcome to Purity and Industry. This is an older SE2 map from back in 2021. It's been a couple of years. We have slow zones in between the bases. We have the Center Zelnaga Tower. We have an island on the right-hand side that may come into play if the game goes on longer. Meanwhile, Stim is now being researched. And Bjorn is working on that early Stim timing. Building up his bio, building up his medics. Here we go. So chat, what music is this? So specifically for SE Evo, they have actually opened up the playlist, the music track list. So we have Brood War OST. So Brood War OST sometimes plays, if you noticed, during the games. And they also allowed for the Nova Curvados. The Nova like add-on DLC expansion has unique tracks, and that's also playing every now and then as well. So you might have heard some of the Nova songs. Especially if you haven't played the Nova missions, and you might not remember them, or even if you played them, you probably played them like once. Like, But yeah, sometimes the Nova soundtrack plays as well. It's a nice little feature for SE Evo. I feel like that's one of those things that should just be in the base game where like we can activate like multiple different soundtracks to play in a series. In a custom 1v1. Would be nice, would be nice. But meanwhile, here we go. We just see Beyond, he does sneak around the edge of the map. He avoids the Zelnaga tower. Stim is done. Back it over, we have a safety shield battery. Creator, he's ready, he's secure. Gets a Marine, pulls away to the safety of the shield battery. He has force fields as well. And Creator, he holds. Creator, he is holding. Oh, we'll lose one Stalker in the process. Oh, another Stim. Another Stim. There's the initial force field, catching up more Marines, and again, Creator, he will shut this down, he will force this back. Creator does hold. Oh, even catching a medic. Back at home, Beyond getting to his own bio tank. And looks like he is not switching into mech this time. Last time we saw a mech transition, this time we have another Rax. But Creator, he's gained map control, Blink is complete. There's no bunker, there's no tank. Oh. Beyond is vulnerable, Beyond is vulnerable, Beyond is exposed. Creator, he cannot dive on top of the tank because of Stim. He can just pick up Marines. And get a couple of volleys off on the tank as well. So nice pickups here out of Creator. Goes down. And Creator from here is stabilizing, getting up to 3 bases and working towards Colossus. Right now the pressure is still on Beyond, as the early timings just have not paid off. They've not worked out. Gets a medic. For a moment I thought he had probes in that war prison, he was going to expand. That would have been crazy. But no. No island base, unfortunately. Dropping into the main. Does get a couple of SCV kills, or at least does zone away, denies mining. That doesn't kill much, but does disrupt the mining. First Colossus is on the way, and Creator, he's just getting more secure. He's getting more secure, he's in a better position. Things are looking a little bit dire here for Beyond. Does have a good tank count, but can he make use of it? Beyond searching for observers. Prism goes back in. Back into the main. Main army gets spotted by the Zelnaga. SCVs are going down. The boys are being pulled 2 base all in. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing for Beyond. Beyond, he has no setup for a longer game. But he's going to be pushing up a ramp into force field and into Colossus. Nice force fields. Yeah, the SCVs there locked behind. Tanks are going down. They do get some massive volleys on the Colossus. Actually, on the Immortal. In the end, Creator, he will swallow this up. He will completely swallow this up. He shuts down every single tank of the Marines. The SCVs, GG gets called. And Creator, he will take the series 3-2, knocking Beyond out of the tournament. GG. GG, well played. A very impressive performance here out of Creator. Remember, Beyond, he is the best Terran player in StarCraft Evolution, but he's knocked out in the quarterfinals. We had an intense back and forth. As we mentioned before, Creator, he's a little more well versed in StarCraft Evolution compared to some of the other kind of like newer faces in the tournament, like your Rogues, like your Gumihos, like your Cures. And Creator, he does pop off, takes down Beyond, went all the way to the ace match, but does bring him down. It's a little bit of a shame that they had to play so early. They had to play so early in the tournaments, in the quarterfinals. Unfortunately, they weren't spread out from one half to or the other. one half of the bracket and the other half of the bracket. But in the end, GG, Creator, he does make it through. And I would say this is an upset. Despite the fact that Creator, he's more well-versed, a lot of people, myself included, were favoring Bjorn to make a deeper run in this tournament. But not here. Not here. Not today. Creator knocks him down. GG, well played. With that, Creator, he does advance on to the semis. Congratulations here. My condolences to Bjorn. And with that, we're now getting into the final series of the quarterfinals. One matchup left. We have a PvP between Classic and Mana. Here we go. We were, of course, praising Bjorn for being the best Terran player in StarCraft Evolutions. We'll stand by that. Classic is the best Protoss in StarCraft Evolution. Classic, with very little contest. I mean, you can make an argument for Hero. Hero, he's also has some really good performances and really good showings in StarCraft Evolution as well. But Hero is not in this tournament. Instead, Classic is. Mana, he's also pretty well versed as well. Mana, he does like to dip his toes into a lot of different game modes, and has also been devoting some time to StarCraft Evolution as well, but he is less active compared to Classic. We'll see if Mana can pull off an upset. I mean, for Bjorn to go down to Creator was a bit of an upset there. Can Mana do the same? Let's go. Let us go. As this is going to be our final best of 5. Bench time for me. Hopefully, we'll tune in towards the end of the cast to catch up with Tunic Up. Thanks for the cast. Oh, best of luck, man. Get some rest. Buenas noches, my buenas noches. But yes, Tunic Up is going to be later on tonight. That is going to be in around 8 hours. In around 7.5 hours time is going to be Tunic Up. But for now, we're focusing on our fresh series. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, on the right side of Pure Data Industry, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss for Virtus Pro. It is a classic. And spawning in the top side of a Pure Data Industry, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the Brutal Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. Here we go. So players are setting up. And again, Classic, he's known for being hyper aggressive and hyper cheesy in SC2 PvP. We'll see if that translates to StarCraft Evolution PvP as well. See if it does translate. Players are opening up. Nexus first out of Mana. Does go straight Nexus first. Meanwhile, we do have our Gate Cyber Expand out of Classic. Oh, sorry, 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener. Classic, no probe scouts from either player. No probe scouting. Just now the initial workers moving out. And we're going to try to get a read on what exactly is going on. Classic, he avoids the main scouting path. Looking to set up a proxy pylon. Now, this is a little bit further back here. It is more than halfway across the map, so this isn't the best location for a proxy robo, but I'm not going to rule it out, just because of what Classic is known for. Again, he's known for a proxy robo and one base all-ins, so that has to be in the forefront of my mind. Huh. Show us what you got. Pylon is done, waiting for the Cybercore. Cybercore is now complete. And there it is, Proxy Robo, one base to win at a Classic. Again, Classic is very fond of this build in StarCraft 2. Looks like fond of it here in StarCraft Evolution as well. Now, the scary thing about this build, one, it's a one base to win, but two, remember, Mana, he went Nexus first. He went Nexus first, so his Cybercore is delayed. His gateways are more delayed as well. The unit production here is going to be later for Mana, and that's going to be more ideal for Classic. Classic, he hasn't even scattered. He doesn't even know what Mana's up to. Doesn't know how greedy he's been. So this is lining up for Classic. Going double Robo. Oh my god. What? Double Robo. Immortal and War Prism can be built at the same time. Okay. Interesting. This is something more unique. Don't get spotted. Scout is denied. Mana, he knows that a pylon is missing. He knows that something is wrong. Edge time. Classic does threaten the shade. Does see the base is already complete. Shield battery is ready. Shield battery is ready. Set up safe threat in the shade. Thread, the immortals have arrived. We got 2 immortals so far. Again, we're making 2 immortals at a time. It's great. It's gonna be a crazy immortal count. And Classy gets into the main base. Mana is racing on over to defend. Remember, there's no recall. Going for the Artosis pylon. Thankfully, backup pylons on the way. Oof. Sniping a couple of Dragoons. Classic pulls out. That was how many? That was 3 Dragoons going down. Classic pulls away. Pulls away. Slow zones will deter him. Going further into the mineral line. Mana getting his own bait, trying to get into Reaver production. But again, now we have 4 immortals. But the shield batteries, I don't know if they can really do much against this. There's just going to be so much DPS output here out of Mana, so much burst damage. Sorry, out of Classic. Yeah, so much burst damage. It's just going to, he just goes to the pylon. Depowers the shield batteries. Ay, ay, ay. Does depower. Picks off more of the Dragoons. Reaver production has begun. And the boys are being pulled. Mana trying to make a stand, trying to save that river. He cannot. GG gets called. Classic overwhelms. And Classic takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played again. Mana just being a little bit too greedy. Remember, he went Nexus first. Nexus first, delayed production, delayed tech as well against a 1 base all-in. We saw that the shield batteries didn't do much. We saw that alas Mana, he was caught out of position, bleeding out a lot of Dragoons early. He was working towards the eventual Reaver, but he never quite got there. Never got there in the end. GG, well played. With that, Classic takes the lead in the series. And, oh, for the first time tonight, I'm a little bit surprised we never got to see it earlier, but we are loading into Blue Storm. Let's go. One of my favorite maps in SE Evo. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Blue Storm, we have the red Protoss player. We have the Brood War Protoss leading the series 1-0. For Virtus Pro, it is Classic. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the SE2 Protoss player, the Polish Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. Here we go. As we are settling into game number 2. And welcome one all to Blue Storm. Blue Storm, another one of these more quirky maps in the map pool, has a short rush distance by ground, very short by ground, and there is no ramp coming into the natural base. There's no high ground advantage, but there is a very narrow choke point here as the entrance. Likewise, there's also rocks so you can knock down to fully wall this area off as well. But another big factor is there is a ramp going down into the natural, so there's this high ground that you have to contend with. So the natural base at times can be a little bit more difficult to defend. There's also a very large main base. It is prone to drop play, to war prisms, to drop play in general. We'll see how our players will approach this. Now Mana going for a 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Mana. Classic going for a gate cyber expand. No, 2-gate as well. So 2-gate openers all around. Mana does hide a probe. Does hide a worker. We'll see if he throws down a pylon. We'll see if he hides some tech. And looks like he will. There's a pylon. Now, this is so far away, so it looks like this shouldn't be a proxy robo. I'm leaning more towards either proxy Stargate or Twilight Council. Stargate for proxy Oracle to harass across the map, or Twilight Council for potentially DTs. What's it going to be? Cybercore is done. Huh. And it is a robo. Is he locked in? No, he's not. No! Mana! He locked himself in, so we had to cancel the robo, which will delay the build, but he's going for a double robo. He's going for the same build that Classic just went for. Double robo, double immortal production out of mana. Oh boy. But again, this is very far back, so it takes longer for reinforcements to get across the map. So that is going to be a big downside to this. The upside is it's going to be difficult to scout because it's so far away, but Classic is scouting. Wow, he checks the fringe locations first. I mean, he has 2 workers out on the map. He has Dragoon scouting as well. And he does find the robo, he does find the proxy. Classic, he sees everything. And he wants to cancel. Yeah, he's rushing across the map to try to deny this completely. We have an Adept on the way. We have 2 Adepts even out for mana. The pylon taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. And Classic, he might just be able to shut this down here and now. Adepts are coming. They're coming to help, but the pylon will fall. Adepts say tickle Dragoons. The pylon goes down. Depowers everything, kills the probe, and snipes the second pylon. Oh no. It's all falling apart. Classic with the scouting. He gets his own pylon across the map as well. And Dragoons have control of the proxy, control of 2 robos. Mana trying to shade in, but there's a full wall back at home, and Classic, he's all over this. He defends, he attacks. He's here to make sure this never gets repowered. He's here to make sure this is killed. We have Reavers on the way, and this is looking dire for Mana. As down go the robos. Adepts, they do get in. One Adept will 2 shots. And he gets 1 probe, so he gets 2. 2 probe kills so far. It's some damage. At least he gets a full scout of the main base. He sees the bay. He's aware of the Reavers. But again, this is still a very rough start for Mana. He's going for double robo at home. Let's go. Does replace the robos. Oh boy. And Classic has had so much time to prepare. Reavers on the way. I'm hoping that Mana doesn't delay his War Prism for too much longer. Just because he needs some kind of micro potential with his army. There it is, Prism's on the way. Classic expands. Shields get triggered. Shields are triggered. Coming in. Oof. Does connect with the Stalker. Shuttle will get away. Nice force fields catching 1 Dragoon. Not even. Dragoon survives. He does survive. Nice by Shuttle taking some more hits. Ooh. Gets the Stalker. Gets 1. Shuttle barely gets away. No, the intercept! Okay, does unload. Does unload in time, thankfully. And Dragoon shots going off. Does miss 1 of the volleys. And that's going to be a lot of Dragoons falling here. Immortals, they trade so well. Do we get the... Oh, he gets the Prism! Prism goes down. So we had a back and forth there. That was still a lot of Dragoons falling. That was how many? That was 5 Dragoons for 1 more Prism. That will delay Mana. Still going to be close. Mana is still pumping out more Immortals. He's up to 4 Immortals. Sorry, up to 5. Jesus. Classic does hit the mineral line. Denies any kind of mining. Oof. Yeah, shots going off. Oh. Hoping for another. Not quite able to. Playing with fire. One shot away from going down. Is that Reaver? But he does distract mana for a moment. Building up more Reavers defensively. Getting ready with those Scarabs. Scarab shall say pop off. You have one Reaver goes down, and that target firing gets one, he gets two. Boys are being pulled. Ooh, Prism goes down. And with that, Classic will hold. Yeah, Classic, he shuts us down, takes down the Immortals one after the other. There's one Immortal left. And mana, he has nothing remaining. He has nothing remaining here, as he will lose everything. What was it, 5-6 Immortals? The War Prism. Mana, he plummets the supply. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A solid lead here for Classic. Very solid. We saw that Mana attempted to go for the same build, the same cheese that Classic went for in game 1, but Classic scouted. He scouted, he shut down the proxy early, he depowered both robos, he killed both robos, and alas, Mana, he was never quite able to recover. He was forced into the one base all-in, and we saw that Classic was able to slow him down, able to buy time, able to catch some of the reinforcements, and even hit the economy. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game 3, potentially the final game of the series. I'm hoping for more of a back and forth. I want to see more games, but the pressure is on Mana, as game 3 is going to be on Maganatha. We go as spawning in the top side of Maganatha. We have the Brood War Protoss player. The Brood War Protoss leading the series 2-0, representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the SE2 Protoss from land of Poland. Representing Team Liquid, it is Mana. Hello, Classic. As Classic does move out early on with his probe. And we'll see what Mana gets up to. Classic is going to be adamant with the scouting, ensuring he gets eyes on the second pylon. As Classic does barely fail to pylon block, or to gas steal. Delay. Mana does move out with a probe. Oh, hiding his probe at his third base location. Looks like we're not going for a proxy. Looks like we're going for a fake out. As far as I can tell, as far as this looks. So 2 gate opener into the cyber core. We're expecting a pylon here at the third. There it is. So we have the proxy pylon here. Now, I would imagine this is just a fake out, and from here Mana expands, but the probe is actually staying with the pylon, so he might actually proxy something here. He might commit. It is very far back, but he may just go for the robos once again. Cybercore is done. And yep, proxy robo. We're going for the same build, so double robo here out of Mana. Classic, he knows that the pylon is missing, he knows that something is wrong, and Classic is scouting closer to his own bases. Does check behind the rocks. He's looking, man, he's looking. Does go for a defensive robo opener. Getting ready for his own Reavers. I'll be honest, if Classic doesn't find this, if he doesn't shut this down, this does hit quite hard. Like, I don't... I am concerned, Babby, I'm concerned. Classic is scouting on the right-hand side. Jugens, they push through the center. Classic, he will find the Adepts.
We are under attack.
Yo, the Dragoon sound effects, the voice lines. Dog. The nostalgia, baby, the nostalgia. But now Dragoon's poking in. The Immortals have to respond defensively. So nice I mean, he's forcing the reaction out of mana. Gets a couple of probe kills. 1, 2, 3. I think it's a 3 probe kills. Immortals revealed, so Classic he confirms. He confirms the build, and he already has the first Reaver on the way. Reaver's in production. Counter-attacking. You can see the Classic is trying to intercept, but unfortunately he's on the wrong side. Remember, he doesn't know where the proxy is, doesn't know where it's coming from. As Mana's making his way into the main. Classic is very set up in the main base. He has a shield battery, backup pylons. He does want the prism. Oh, he wants the sentries, and he will get them. Gets one. One sentry goes down. Workman gets zoned away. Oh, and the prism is going to be focus fired. Ay. Mana losing everything. The prism goes down. The Immortals as well. Classic defense. And again, just a fumbled assault into the main base. He was zoned away by the Dragoons. He couldn't save the Immortals. Not like this. No, what's a nice addition, which we're not going to be able to see here, is that the Protoss buildings catch fire. The brutal Protoss buildings. They actually do catch fire. It's the little things like that that I appreciate. As Reaver gets his... No! Brutal connection, 4 probes going down, but last the Reaver does fall. So Mana, he recalls in time. But he's forced home. He's forced all the way back home, and Classic can expand. Does he, though? Who's going to be the first to expand? Who's going to be the first to flinch? Bearing in mind that Mana, he still has 4 Immortals. We're dropping towards the bases. Army gets spotted by the Observer. Mana, he knows that the Prism is safe. He's headed for the main. Classic out of position. Do we go for the base raid? Uh-oh. We might just commit. We'll see if Classic can hold. Oh, as the Reaver takes a lot of hits and does go down. Oh, gets a shot off though. Does get a shot off. The Immortals are very low. The Immortals are low. Here we go. Shuttle across the map. Classic did race back home to defend. Mana, don't go in! Oh no! Jesus. Calm down, Mana, calm down. Respect the Dragoons. We have a shuttle speed on the way. Graviton thrusters. Or gravitic drive. It's one of the two. Something's happening with the gravity. Classic does get across the map. Nice probe damage. So again, we have 5 Immortals here for Mana. Without these Reavers defensively, Mana, he might have enough to at least force a cancel. it is. Does force a cancel. Pushing up the ramp. Oof. Snapshots are going up. Depowers one of the gateways. Reavers are still across the map. Oof. We'll lose one. Oh no! Oof. Still getting more damage. And Mane's running out of economy here. He forces his way up the ramp. Immortals are going down. No, he cannot do this. And he'll lose everything. He's trying to brute force his way up into a concave of Dragoons. That's not going to happen. Upper ramp especially. Remember, mischance is also a thing. And Mane gets forced out. The Prism barely escapes, barely gets away. And Classic is still harassing. No! He's still harassing 7 more probes. Getting up to 9. Una más. Jesus, where are we going? Where are we? Scav shots are prone to dropping out a little bit, depending on what they target. Does go for the mineral line. Gets another 2, and Classic is moving in for the kill. He's going for the throat here. As Mana will lose the final Immortals. Got 4 more racing back home. Oh. Jeez, 5. He has so many Immortals. Oh my god. The Immortal count is crazy. But Mane's down to 8 probes. He's down to 8 workers. He does not have an economy. Classic does. Classic, he finally finds the robos. He depowers. And Classic is going for the main base. There's 2 Stalkers to defend. There's barely any warp-ins just because of the low economy. Oof. Shots popping up. And again, there's just plenty at home. Mana, he cannot push into this. GG gets called as Mana. He runs out of steam, and Classic, he will take the series 3-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Classic, he will claim it again. A strong showing here out of Classic. A very intense PvP as well. A lot of cheese, a lot of proxies. We never really got into a 2-base versus 2-base setup. It was non-stop proxy double robo. Proxy double robo here from both Mana and Classic. So used quite heavily. In the end, Classic, even when he was up against the cheese, even when he was up against the proxies, he was able to force some damage back at home, force the attention to be split, finding the proxy, shutting it down. It was really impressive play there from Classic, and Mana couldn't quite keep up. GG. GG, well played. Impressive showing there. Again, Classic is coming in as the favorite player to win the entire tournament. I would have said that Classic's biggest opponent would have been Bjorn, but Bjorn is out. Bjorn, he's out of the tournament. We can just catch up on the bracket itself, catch up on today's matches. So from the beginning, we had TaeJa. TaeJa took down Cure 3-1, advancing onto the semis. Rogue took down 3.3-1 as well. Very impressive showing there by Rogue. It was also a very intense and quick series between himself and 3-point. We had Creator. I would say the big upset here was Creator taking down Bjorn 3-2. I would have said that the potential finals would have been the semis, would have been potentially Bjorn versus Classic, but Creator takes him down, and we have Creator versus Classic instead in those lower semifinals. It was an intense back and forth. I would say that the highlight of the series, the highlight of the tournament or of the broadcast here tonight was Bjorn versus Creator. Very intense, very back and forth, a very clutch series between the two of them. In the end, Creator does barely make it through, and we have a PvP between Creator and Classic. Let's go. So that's going to be in a couple of days. In 2 days' time, we're going to be live with day 2 of the playoffs. We'll be live with the semis and then the grand finals thereafter. I say in 2 days' time because tomorrow at this time is Pegasus Cup, right? Tomorrow we have Pegasus Cup. Tomorrow we have other broadcasting, of course. We have a lot to cover this week, as always on the CranKy Ducklings. But yeah, really, really fun matches, really impressive showing here from certain players, especially Creator. And at this point, without Bjorn being in the mix, we'll see if anyone can stop Classic. I mean, Creator, he will have a good showing. I mean, I'm sure he will. I don't know how well versed he is, though, in StarCraft Evolution. Likewise, same with Rogue. It's going to be interesting to see how Rogue and Creator handle themselves against the more veteran players of TaeJa and Classic. Here we go. Meanwhile, when it comes to our schedule, you can see it here. It's going to be a very busy week. As you can see, we just wrapped up with our morning Tuesday cast of StarCraft Evolution tonight at 7 p.m. KST. That's going to be 8 p.m. AST. That is going to be in 7 hours. We're going to be live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is our weekly open tournament. Tomorrow morning, we have Pegasus Cup. That's going to be Wednesday morning. We have Little League Cup Wednesday evening. We have StarCraft Evolution Playoffs Day 2. That is Thursday morning. That's in 2 days' time. We have the Pwnecast Thursday evening. We have Maestros of the Game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a lot of Maestros of the Game. That's a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. We have OSC King of the Hill. Sorry, we have the OSC Midseason Playoffs Friday morning. And we have Duckling Open Saturday evening as well. We have a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. We're live twice a day, every single day, except for Sunday. But even then, I believe we have another Maestros of the Game broadcast Monday morning. So a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. As always, here we cast more StarCraft than any other channel on the CranKy Ducklings. We have all the content, we have all the StarCraft. We do what we can. We do what we can, Pappy, to bring you as much as we can as well. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, as a reminder, if you want to watch the tail end of the tournament, the semis and the finals of StarCraft Evolution, we're going to be covering that in 2 days. In 2 days' time on Thursday morning. We got you covered. Otherwise, we'll be back in 7 hours with Sparkling Tuna Cup. Oh boy. All the content, all the StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you'll enjoy yourselves. Again, if you want to check out this mod yourself, you can do so on the StarCraft 2 arcade. Not just the 1v1 mod, but also the campaign as well, with StarCraft Evolution Complete also is available in the arcade as well. A lot of work is being put into the mod. A lot of work is being put into this game mode. So give him some love. Quite embarrassing for Mana. I wouldn't say embarrassing, just because Classic is literally the best Protoss in StarCraft Evolution. Like, you don't get better than Classic. You can try to make an argument for Hero, but yeah, that was Classic. Here's for you to keep these casts going. Oh, thank you, Kipsteer. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. But otherwise, with that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the day, for the morning. I'm going to go get some breakfast. I'm starving. Gonna go get some breakfast, gonna go get some food. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, so you can give them some love, you can give them some support. I believe Babylings is live. Babylings is a good friend and a long-time supporter of the channel, so you can give Babylings some support. We'll be heading off. Until then, though, see you soon. See you soon after the break, or we'll see you in 7 hours for our next cast. See you later tonight. Also, if you want to watch the VODs, you can do so via YouTube. We do upload to YouTube on a daily basis. We stream on YouTube as well, so all the content is available on YouTube. So if you see something that you like, and if you can't watch it live because we're live so often, then YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.